Hey guys, before we get into the video, let me introduce you to Real Men Shave. Real Men Shave is a community which has many cool benefits. You can share your shave of the day post here, you can ask for product recommendations, or if you're a video maker like me, you can share your content with a rapidly growing audience. If you want to have a look, I'll put a link in the description. Apart from that, let's get on with the shave. Hello and welcome to the Virtual Grim Room. My name is Jack, your host, and today I'm bringing you a first impression / review of the Leaf razor. I'm going to go over a little bit why I bought it and kind of what appealed to me in influencing my buying decision for this razor. A 3-bladed razor that is customizable and loadable seems really cool, and I'll go into how I think it's customizable in a minute. The idea of kind of loading a double-edged razor with half blades was kind of interesting to me, and I wanted to see how that was utilized properly, and I bought it. And me doing this review, I hope I influence your buying decision. Let's get straight into it. So normally I do the boxing, but the boxing, in my opinion, kind of sucks, so I'm not even gonna go over it. It's just a tray, they hold the razor. It's not very good. So we're gonna start with design. We're gonna go into the good, the bad, and then I'm gonna give you my score for design, okay? So let's start with the good. I think the pivoting head is a good feature of the razor. And the reason why I think the pivoting head is good is because regardless of how kind of sufficiently, regardless how able you are to get that optimum blade angle with your wrist, I still think a good pivoting head should be more efficient. In my opinion, in this case, I think it's way too sensitive. I think this pivoting head will react to pretty much any movement, and I found that regardless of how many blades I had loaded at once, it would often stray from the optimum blade angle, and that was, to me, a hindrance. I have some notes to the right of me, so if I look this way, you know, from focusing at the camera, that's why. Secondly, I would say I have fairly sensitive skin. I don't have extremely sensitive skin. I can shave against the grain with some razors. This specific razor though, although I could have 3 blades loaded in it, I think it was quite a nice smooth shaver. Not the smoothest shaver by any means, but I've used razors that make my face look like I've shaved with a rusty nail, for example, and I think this definitely shaves adequately in regards to leaving your face in a decent state when you're finished. And I think the design of the 3 blades is a little excessive for me, but there's no detrimental effect in my opinion. Let me show you one of the parts. So this is one of my big notes and one of the coolest parts of the razor for me. They needed to figure out a way to make loading 3 blades easy, and I think they nailed it. You'll see why. So let me so what happens, let me kind of change the focus on this. I'm going to put this up here. Get the right focus. I'd say that's good. So let's look at this here. This is a top cap. So once you put the top cap up, it can be quite finicky to get up. Okay. So you'll see this. Now these are 3 blades that have been loaded in here. Okay. The thing I like the most about this razor, in terms of loading the 3 blades, I think it would be a nightmare if it didn't have this, but I'm glad they do. So you see, I've just taken a blade out, and here it is. There's actually one that's loose down there, but that doesn't particularly matter for what I'm trying to show you. So what you'll see is, to make things a bit more convenient, they have placed it, they have kind of designed it in such a way where the blade holder is magnetic. So even if I put it in correctly there and I tip it out, you see that kind of blade that was loose? It doesn't fall out because it's a magnetic system, and I think that's extremely cool. Of course, they had to figure out, I'm going to kind of put this blade back. So as you can see, it's not too finicky. If you're scared with handling blades, this is going to be a bit weird for you. Let me turn the focus back. There we go. So if you're a bit finicky with handling blades, this is going to be kind of weird for you. Another cool thing is you can load as many blades as you want. You don't have to use all 3. You can use 1, you can use 2. I've used 2 is the minimum I've used because I have better single edge razors than that. Nice shaver. I didn't particularly see too much difference between 2 and 3. It doesn't have a substantial amount of blade fill anyway, so there's that. So that's the good. That's the good on the Leaf razor. Let's go into the bad. You see this handle here. I don't like the way it's shaped. It's shaped like a paddle, and the paddle design is generally associated with cartridge razors. The reason I don't like it is I don't think it's efficient for shaving upwards, kind of diagonally up or diagonally to the side. I think it's just a bit of a hindrance, and I'm not particularly a fan of the handle design. The next part, and I'd say the worst part of the razor for me, let me focus in on it again. There we go. So as you can see, this is the head of the razor. It's quite large. The worst part of the head is this top cap. They need to use the top cap because they have to keep the top blade in. I understand. However, it makes getting those areas, like under your mustache, lining up your sideburns, it makes it really difficult to actually do. And for me, the way they got around that is releasing it with the twig. And the reason why I don't like the twig, it's plastic and it feels cheap. You can feel a tiny bit of blade rattling with the plastic and the metal. I don't think a good razor design relies on a sub-razor to do certain parts of the job the main razor can. I think that's inefficient, and that's why I've put it as part of the bad in design. This as well. I covered this on the supply single edge review, and I think this is also stupid. Do you see this? This is a knob on the back, right here. I think the knob on the back, any small turny screw in a bathroom with plug holes, I think is a pretty silly design decision, mainly due to the fact that if you drop it, you're probably not going to get it back if it goes down the drain. That's the design portion of the razor done. I give the design of this razor a 6 out of 10. It's not terrible, it's workable and it's usable, but I think there are several aspects of this razor that could potentially improve. Let's go to value here. So this razor retails for $79. It doesn't have a full warranty, like a lifetime warranty like the One Blade has or the Supply Single Edge has, which is in the similar price bracket, or the Rex Ambassador has. It's 12 months. Take that for what you want. The material of this razor is some of the head materials are made up of stainless steel, which I believe is pretty much the blade loaders, and I also believe there is zinc on this razor as well. You tend to pay more for stainless in this industry, and as far as I'm aware, there's not much stainless on this razor, so kind of take that for what it is. The fact that it's a multi-blade razor and you're required to use technically two DE blades per loading of the razor, you're going to be using twice the amount of blades technically every single time you load that razor up with them. And although they accompany the twig to make use of that extra blade, I still think overall, just logistically, you're going to be spending more money on blades if you stick with the leaf. In terms of value, I'm giving it an 8. I think it's a good razor. It's made very well. I think the general manufacturing of the razor, which I can go over now, I believe I've got it written down here. The handle is cast into a mold, injection molded, like quite a lot of razors are now. Head, some things are cast exactly the same, but then there's some also stuff which are is progressive stamped. Progressive stamping is pretty much the same process as they do with Coke cans and stuff like that. I give the value, as I said, an 8. I think it's a good value razor. You're going to get it and you're going to use it for a while. I don't see anything being detrimental in terms of wear over time. Maybe the hinges that kind of put the razors, like put the blades up and down, but I don't think they're going to wear out because you're not changing the blade that often. The shave. I would say the overall shave is very good. Very good is probably a bit steep. I would just say it's a good shave. Although the razor can be loaded with 3 blades, as I said in the design section, I think it's quite forgiving on your face overall. And because of that, I think if you're like an everyday shaver, I don't think it's detrimental to use every day. I don't think it would cause you a significant amount of irritation as long as you're following the proper shaving procedures, you know, matching the grain on your face, using a decent soap, etc. I'm personally unable to shave against the grain with this razor. I did try and it gave me a little bit of razor burn, so I've not tried it again since then. The real estate on the head makes the twig necessary, and then I don't think the twig is a nice thing to shave with. I don't have it here. I've actually misplaced it. I can't find it anywhere. So, as I said, I don't think the twig is particularly nice to shave with. It's cheap. It's made of plastic. That's not what you pay $79 for, in my opinion. Because of how you have to grip the handle, you have to grip the handle kind of how you would a cartridge razor. And I do not like going up or to the side. So if your hair growth grows in that way, and there are similar razors you're looking at in a different price pattern or a different kind of price point, I would possibly consider those instead. My overall conclusion and the shave of this razor, I would give the overall shave a 7. It's a decent shaver. It has some good manufacturing qualities, and I also think it has some very poor manufacturing qualities. Would I recommend the razor to you if you're buying it as your first razor? No, I wouldn't. If you're a collector and you like to try different razors like me, by all means give it a go. They do a good kind of refurbishment program where you can get the razor at like $50. So if you're interested in it, I would suggest doing that. I wouldn't recommend paying full price for this razor, as most people I know that have used it have found the experience a little disappointing. Take that for what you will. I'm looking at a couple of other razors at the moment, of which I will do kind of overall reviews and stuff like that. Apart from that, if you've enjoyed the video and you haven't been here before, please check out some more of my content. I'd really appreciate that. And maybe even hit the subscribe button below. Kind of more followers to the channel is really useful for me. I do kind of weekly shaving videos where I'm in the bathroom shaving it up. If you have any comments, or if you've used the leaf razor yourself, please put that below. I'm interested in kind of everyone else's opinions on this razor. Apart from that, my name is Jack, your host from the Virtual Groom Room. Have a very good week, and goodbye for now.